but the first text that came through said, "You're so fat and ugly, nobody's ever going to want you."
Words can cut deep. Jody Dice knows this all too well.
Last one was, "When you do kill yourself, we're going to come by your casket and spit in your fat, ugly face."
These are actual messages sent online not to Jody, but to his daughter Emily when she was 15. Before he ever saw the text, he found his daughter passed out in a bathroom attempting to overdose on pills.
I did not know that she was being bullied online until the day that she tried to commit suicide.
It was 2009 in Clark County, and Emily did survive. But 15 years later, social media's impact on teens is still affecting millions of families. The state of Mississippi is trying to fight the abuse of children online through House Bill 1126. It would require social media platforms to use ID verification for everyone in the state and require strict parental approval for minors. It also requires sites to prevent and mitigate a minor's exposure to harmful material. But before the law could go into effect on July 1st, a federal judge blocked it.
We want to protect our kids. This is not the way.
Carl Szabo is the general counsel for NetChoice, who filed the lawsuit against Mississippi. They represent big tech companies such as Google and Meta. Szabo argues the law violates free speech and is too broad, and claims its attempt to block harmful material could actually backfire.
It would require websites to block content like Taylor Swift, Toby Keith, and any movie that involves some sort of illegal activity like, I don't know, National Treasure, where they steal the Declaration of Independence. Those are extreme examples, but that's the type of over-expansive nature of this law.
But what does this law actually do? It applies to digital services, which it defines as sites that collect user data, uses profiles to sign in, and allows a user to create or post content. Think Facebook, Instagram, or even Etsy. But in theory, it would mean every single user in the state of Mississippi would have to put their ID directly into the platform to use it. Minors wouldn't have access unless their parents either sign a form, call a number, video chat directly with the company, or use a strict form of email verification. NetChoice argues putting your ID poses a number of risks, including more data collection and possible fraud.
Just think about groups like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, who sometimes meet not in the basement of some church, but they meet online for support. You couldn't have that if you have ID for the internet. Nearly a dozen different judges from across the country have said the same thing every time this is tried. This is a violation of the free speech rights of the citizens. This is massive data collection on citizens.
Attorneys argue movies like The Goonies could be blocked because the iconic film features illegal trespassing. We asked if a PG-rated film like this could actually violate the law, but Szabo says his clients likely will not take the risk.
If you want to comply with the law, and every single business does, that's the type of content that would have to be blocked. Even if we don't think that a attorney general or a state would bring an enforcement action, we want to be in compliance with the law. Solution is with Mississippi parents. The solution is not to censor free speech online. The solution is not to replace parents with government. And unfortunately, that's exactly what this legislation does.
Parents like Jody Dice, who now works with the organization Say Something Assembly, traveling the country to share his family's story in hopes of educating kids and their parents on the dangers of social media. He says parents need to be proactive, but some kind of legislation is needed to prevent the nightmare his family lived through.
We're one of the lucky ones and one of the few lucky ones that our kid survived the attempt. There's thousands of kids in the U.S. that commit suicide, and they do it just because of the words that are being spoken to them through social media.